All right, how's it going? This is Thursday. I almost forgot. It is a Thursday, and I just want to say good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing fine. And lately, I've just been nonchalantly just been watching Disney movies, and not because I wanted to, but because I had to. In part because of my philosophy class. And let me tell you something about what I realized about these Disney movies is that a lot of it seems to be like, how can I say this? It's kind of not it's kind of crazy how like these high expectations that these Disney movies put out and set out what men should be, and the reality of that is far from it. So subconsciously or like on like conscious or subconsciously, as an adult you do tend to see these movies differently as when you are towards a kid. But perhaps you don't see these messages as much as when you were a kid, but when you see them as you get older, don't get me wrong, I kind of like gets emotional and sentimental when I watch Snow White, but part of me just feels like women in particular in these movies, they're set out to be a princess, and they're not necessarily an object, not necessarily as a subject, but just an object and someone that the prince has to go out and seek out for. So that's something that was kind of interesting, but at the same time, kind of like a different worldview as towards 2020. So it's nice to see that these Disney movies are nice, they're sweet, but there are some dying worldviews that contain within these movies. And apart from Disney movies, I just I've been doing all right. Apart from just trying to catch up, and sometimes a part of me feels like I'm anxious, and I feel like I'm not doing all the work that I'm doing, but I'm pretty much catched up as regarding towards like my assignments and whatnot. And a part of me just feels like I'm not doing enough, but there's not that much I can do. I mean, I'm pretty much done with everything that I need to do. And I guess free time is kind of it's a weird concept for me because I never really had this much free time. I mean, I just kind of like I've always been preoccupied, and now that I think the hardest thing that people can do is just like sit down and appreciate the free time that one has, because I think we're constantly either feel guilty that we have free time at all. So that's something that's been on my mind too. And other than that, I just feel like more than ever, we just self work and just like accepting that, not to put so much pressure on yourself, because I think even just being is enough. And I feel like sometimes we feel that we're not enough, but just being alive is just enough. And that's about it. So yeah, so like for example, I just been like working and going to school, and like part of me feels like I did all my assignments, but a part of me feels like I'm not, and I'm guilty, and but I did everything. But I have like this sub reaction that like if I don't complete anything, the what ifs. But it's just anxiety. I mean, you gotta really control one's anxiety. I mean, like for me personally, I think anxiety has haunted me since like childhood. So I kind of like carry it with me, and sometimes it's a driving factor, but other times it's like the immortification of like you can't even get things done. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So I think everyone has their quirks. So it's how you deal with them and how you manage them and how you work with everything that ultimately results in like whether you're gonna like deal with it. But yeah, Disney movies, and they have a weird projection. I mean, they have obviously changed the Disney formula, like from like old movies to like contemporary Disney. So they've done a great job in that. But you can totally tell this kind of like archetype that the woman was supposed to portray out when they were like so when they were supposed to be doing their roles as the princess, and they were kind of like the subject rather than they were the object rather than the subject. What I mean by that, it's kind of like they really didn't have their own agency. It's kind of like they were to some extent, some princesses were kind of like they were able to vent out and go into the adventure and like whatnot. But at the end of the day, they were stuck to that role of princess, and they had to give their agency to the prince and to the man and all that stuff. So it's an interesting thing that I was realizing there. But other than that, Besides that, I've been working on this. I want to like make an anime critique, but I feel bad because I know it's gonna take a lot of time, and I could be using this time, this free time, to be completing my homework. But it's so boring and draining. Doing homework isn't the funnest thing to do. So there's that. And I think it's just a balance of things and learning to enjoy life and do your work, because as they say, without deadlines nothing will get done. And I think that's going to be it for this video, and just wanted to let my word out there. And until tomorrow, and that's it for today. Yeah, bye.